Thank you.
Come onto your mats, come into child's pose, knees wide, so your knees are touching the outside of your mat, and just slowly lower your body down, arms outstretched. And you can start on your forearms if you just want to see how that feels, how it feels to have your hips sinking into your ankles, and then just slowly lower down, bringing your forehead to the mat and keeping your elbows on the mat. So this is a passive child's pose. And rock your forehead back and back, giving your brain a little massage as we slowly start to notice our breath, just our natural breath, noticing your body where there might be tension. And it could be coming from anywhere. It could be a cramp in your foot, maybe your ankles are cranky, or maybe it's your hips, but just breathe into that. If there's a crankiness in your body, just take a big, deep breath and think about that body part and breathe into it. And on your next breath, start your ujjayi breathing, constricting the back of your throat and breathing in and out through your nose. Continue to rock your forehead. Press into your fingers and ease your hips a little further back. Maybe your hips get to your ankles or maybe they don't, but just press into that. Straightening your back, expand your shoulders, and breathe in and out. In this relaxed child's pose, set an intention for your day. It could be one of the concepts we spoke about earlier or something that's on your heart. Just bring a thought to mind that you can return to as an intention for your day, and press your hands and sink your hips deeper. And bring your elbows now up off the mat, flexing your triceps around so the eye of your elbow is facing the ceiling, and stretch your fingertips out further, coming into an active child's pose, and breathe. And slowly make your way up into tabletop position with your knees right underneath your hips. Look at your hips and your knees and your wrists right underneath your shoulders. Plug your shoulders into the shoulder sockets so that your back is straight. The crown of your head is drawing to the front of the room, and do several rounds of cat and cow, dipping your belly, looking up, and arching your back, exhaling into cat. Back into cow, sinking your belly, looking up, exhaling into cat. Inhale into cow, exhale into cat. Stretch your left leg long behind you, put your toes on the mat, and bring your right arm out in front of you and cupcake your fingers. Stay here for a breath. And now extend your hand up and your feet and your foot up, stamping the wall behind you, extending your hand like you're shaking someone's hand right in front of you. Breathe in and out. Now bring that elbow to that knee. Exhale. Inhale, extend out. Exhale, bring that elbow to knee. Inhale, extend out. And bring that hand and knee to the mat. Cat, cow. Cow, dip, look up. Cat, exhale and round. Cow, dip and look up. Inhale, exhale, cat. Now extend your right toes long behind you, toes on mat. Cupcake your left fingers ahead of you on the mat and breathe here for a round. Breathe in and out. On the next exhale, lift up Extend. Stamp the wall behind you. Really reach the wall in front of you. And now exhale, elbow to knee. Extend out, inhale. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, extend out. Exhale, elbow to knee. And place that knee and hand down on the mat. Bring your hands out a little bit closer to the front of your mat. Tuck your toes and bring your knees up off the mat, just 2 inches. Bring your shoulders right over your wrists. Breathe here. Engage your abdominal muscles, drawing your belly to your spine. Breathe. Exhale. Plug your shoulders in. Breathe. Exhale. And inhale to downward facing dog and exhale. Pedal out your feet. Maybe your ankles can reach the mat, maybe not. It's perhaps your first down dog of the day. Breathe here. Point your toes to the left and bend your knees a lot, a big side body stretch. Come high on your toes. Now bend your knees to the right and stretch a lot. Come high on your toes. Sink your heels. Inhale, high on your toes and sink your heels. Tiptoe towards the front of your mat and come onto your knees. And we're going to do some flexing of our wrists. So what I want you to do is actually sit on your ankles. This is called hero's pose. Place your hands in front of you, fingers pointing the top of your mat. And come back, stretch out, and maybe come forward on your knees. We're just trying to bend our wrists. Now place your wrist, your hand, so the top of your hand is on the mat and your fingers are pointing towards one another. So here we are, bend into this. However you can bend, you want to see if you can get some expansion and stretch in those wrists. Maybe bend back a little bit, maybe bend forward a little bit, maybe bend your elbows so your wrists are going out and then stretch in again. Now place your hands, top of your hands still on the mat. Your fingers are now facing your knees. And this may be the most difficult of these stretches, but you're going to try to bend back and then maybe come up on your knees and bend forward and maybe bend out. And now place your palms back on the mat and place your fingers so that they're facing the outer edges of your mat. And again, bend into this however you can to get some stretch going in your wrists. And then come back, stay in hero's pose. So stay on your ankles and place your hands out in front of you like you're going to stop someone. And we're going to open and close our fingers 30 times fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Good. Cupcake, bring your hands together and reverse them. Out in front of you, bring them up overhead, bring them behind, clasp them and reverse them, drawing your shoulders down your back. Sit up tall. Good. Bring your hands to your knees. We're gonna rotate around our neck. We're gonna get our neck a little bit woke here. Draw your chin to your chest. Inhale, look up. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, look up. Exhale, chin to chest. Really accentuate this movement. Inhale, look up. Now left ear, left shoulder. Really draw that ear down. Inhale, look up. Right ear, right shoulder. Keep those shoulders down. Inhale, look up. Left ear, left shoulder. Sit up tall. Look up. Right ear, right shoulder. That's the side that hurts me. Look up. Left ear, left shoulder. Now bring it all together. Chin to chest. Left ear, left shoulder. Look up. Exhale as you come around. Really accentuate this roundabout motion that we're making. Breathe.
Exhale as you come around. Inhale as you go back. You're really just moving your head. You're trying to keep your body steady, your torso steady, and you're just moving your head. Now reverse that. So if you were going clockwise, go counterclockwise now. Good. Come up to center. Shrug your shoulders. Roll them back down your back. Drop your shoulders. Come around again like you're a huge wheel. Roll back down. Come around again. Roll it out. Really accentuating this movement. Now go in the opposite direction. Rolling in the opposite direction. Shrug and drop. Shrug and drop. Extend your arms out long in a T. Make huge circles. If you need to come up on your knees to make a bigger circle, do that. Make big, big, big circles around and around in opposite directions. Go around in the opposite way. Good. And now you can stand on your knee, stay on your raised knee or lower back down and make little circles. One way, the other way. Good. Place your left hand down along your side and bring your right arm up. Look up at your fingers and now hinge at your waist and draw that arm overhead. Breathe here, breathe out, and come back up. Place your right hand down, extend your left arm long up, look at your thumb, and now hinge and come over and draw that arm overhead. Breathe in. You're just hinging at the waist. Good. Come up, hands to knees. Close your eyes for a moment and now bring your hands to heart in prayer. We're going to start practice with the sound of one Om. Breathe in and out. Breathe in. Great. Come back up to tabletop. Here we are back in tabletop. Your toes can be flexed or flat, doesn't matter. And 2 more rounds of cat-cow just to make sure that our back is getting woke. And roll back down to downward facing dog. Breathe again. Breathe in and out. Pedal out your feet some more. Come high on your toes. Sink your heels on an exhale. Come back high on your toes and now tiptoe to the top of your mat. Come up onto your fingertips. Breathing the whole time. Stay on your toes. First balance of the day. See if you can go flat back on your toes. Hands to shin. Crown of head forward. Lower down. Lower your heels. Come up halfway. Now with your heels on the mat. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale to mountain pose. Spark your fingers up. Look up at your fingers and dive down. Halfway lift. Breathe and fold. Come back up. Breathe in. Mountain pose. I'm trying to get my camera right. Sorry about this. And step back for high plank. So here we are, first high plank of the day. Stack your shoulders right over your ankles. Your body is straight. So if you can see your body in your camera, notice, are your shoulders plugged in or are they up? You want them plugged in. Crown of your head draws forward. Lower down, we'll roll forward just 2 inches. Lower down halfway. Come up to upward facing dog. Your knees can be on the mat or up and roll back for downward facing dog. Breathe. Breathe in and out. Step your right foot forward, warrior 1. Come right to it. Stack your hips. Actually, place your hands on your hips. Draw your right hip back and your left hip forward. Bend your right knee so it's right over your ankle. You can look at the camera. I just had to bend my knee a little bit more because I noticed it wasn't right over my ankle. And from this position, notice, are your shoulders on top of your hips? Are your hips coming around so that your bones are facing your hip bones are facing the wall in front of you? Cactus your arms and now come up to warrior one. So the full position. Breathe here, in and out. In and out. Pinwheel your hands to the mat and step your right foot back and come into downward facing dog. Breathe here, take a breath in and a breath out. Breathe in again, breathe in and out. Roll forward to high plank. So here we are in our high plank. We're really stacked, we're really straight. Just go drop your knees and come into an upward facing dog position. So here we are, knees can be up or drop, doesn't matter. And now I just want you to roll back to downward facing dog. So we didn't do a chaturanga, but that little sequence can feel really good. So let me do it again with you. So here we are, we're in down dog. We roll forward. Your knees can drop and you just kind of bring your chest through to upward facing dog. I'm staying with my toes flexed, but you could take the extra step and put your toes flat, but my toes stay flexed, and then I just roll back to downward facing dog. So that's an alternative if that lowering down of chaturanga is a bit much. Breathe here, we're in down dog. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and step your left foot forward for warrior one. Come right to it. Bend your knee over your ankle, hands on hips. Rotate your left hip back and your right hip forward. Keeping your pelvis so it's neutral will help with this. So if you're popping your booty out or if you're Michael Jacksoning, it makes this position, this pose harder. Just make sure your pelvis is neutral, hands on hips, really rotating the right hip forward and the left hip back, but keeping that knee really bent. There's a lot going on in this pose. Your hands can start in cactus and then draw them so that your triceps are wrapping around your ear. Breathe here, look straight ahead. Breathe in and out. Pinwheel your hands to the mat. Step your left foot back. Come into downward facing dog. And let's do that roll forward into plank, and then just come through to upward facing dog, and then just using your abdominals, roll back to a downward facing dog. Breathe. We're going to do warrior one again on each side with fewer cues. Let's just see if you can just come together and we'll move a little bit faster through it. Step your right foot forward, warrior one. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out and sink. So on the inhale, you expand. On the exhale, you sink deeper. Breathe in and out and sink. Open up to warrior two. You can rotate your back foot so that it's more at a 90-degree angle. Now your hips are facing the wall to your left. Extend your arms out long. They're in a T, but they're parallel, and they're really reaching for opposite walls. Breathe and sink. Breathe and sink. Reverse your warrior. Your right hand extends up to the ceiling. Look up at your right thumb. Left hand is going down your left thigh. Breathe in and side angle. Lightly place your right forearm on your right thigh and extend your left arm up, stacking your shoulders very lightly, forearm on thigh. In fact, just bring it up off your thigh. It should feel almost no difference. It's just resting there. And you can, in fact, come into extended side angle where your left tricep is now resting against your left ear, and draw that right arm up like you're holding a big beach ball. You should be able to almost feel no difference because there's really no support going on in that arm. Good. Pinwheel your hands down, step back, downward facing dog, roll forward to high plank, Come through like you're on an upward facing dog and roll back to downward facing dog. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out, and step your left foot forward. Warrior one, come right to it. Breathe in. Make any adjustment that you need to get that left hip back and that right hip forward. Breathe. Breathe in, sink. On the exhale, sink. Open up for warrior two. Extend your arms parallel to one another. Stretching, reaching. Breathe in and out. Inhale, sink on the exhale. Reverse your warrior, look up at your left thumb, right hand going down your right thigh, and now side angle. Now you're looking up at your right thumb. Lightly resting, left forearm on left thigh, stacking your shoulders, opening up, even drawing that left arm off and extending your side angle. So now your right arm, your right tricep is right by your right ear. Breathe. And pinwheel your hands to the floor. Step back, down dog. Roll forward. Now this time we're going to do a chaturanga. So here we are. Roll forward, lower down halfway, upward facing, and downward facing dog. Breathe. Come high on your toes. Bend your knees, empty out completely, walk or jump to the top of your mat and come into chair pose. If you have a block, place it between the top, your thighs, because this will help you get that feeling of drawing your thighs together. They're not touching, but they're being drawn together. Your feet are hip width distance, your triceps are wrapped around your ears. Look down, can you see your toes? Because your hips are sinking back. Like you're about to sit into that chair. Breathe in and out, sink. Breathe in and out, and forward fold. Good deal. Come back into chair legs and bring your hands to heart in prayer. Try to straighten your back, sink your hips, look down, can you see your toes? Here we are, and twist to the right. Hooking your left elbow around your right knee. And now again, we're stacking our shoulders. The crown of our head is drawing to the front of the room as we breathe. Open your arms if it's there for you. Stacking those shoulders, breathe. Your belly should not be resting on your thigh. If it is, try to sit up a little bit taller and forward fold down. Grab your toes, your big toes with your forefinger and thumb. Take a drink of water, wipe your brow. So this is what's called yogi toe lock. Bend your elbows. Draw the crown of your head towards the mat. Use the weight of your head and rock it from side to side. Yes, no. Just rock it out. Bend your knees as much as you need to try to get your sacrum up to the ceiling. Halfway lift, fold down, exhale. Halfway lift, and step back to high plank. We're going to do one more chaturanga, lower down halfway. Come up to upward facing dog and roll back for downward facing dog and breathe. Come high on your toes, bend your knees, empty out completely as you walk or jump to the top of your mat and come into chair pose again. Look down, can you see your toes? Sink. Use your block if it's there for you. It helps you draw your thighs together. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Bring your hands to heart and twist left. Hooking your right elbow around your left knee, drawing the crown of your head forward, stacking your shoulders and sinking. Open your arms, stack your shoulders. Breathe. And come out of it, forward fold. This time, we're going to do gorilla pose. So place the palms of your hand right underneath the soles of your feet and see if your toes can reach the crease of your wrist. Maybe even giving your wrist a little massage with your toes. Lift your left heel off the mat. Place it down. Lift your right heel off the mat. Place it down. See if you can lift both heels. Don't hurt yourself. Just for a second. Do it again, just for a second. Good. Come up to halfway lift. You pass. And come into yogi squat. So here we are. Our toes are facing opposite corners of the mat, or opposite sides of the mat, doesn't matter. Your elbows are between your knees, and they're pressing your knees away. Now try to sit up tall. Try to get the crown of your head tall. I'm going to actually go so I can see if I move yourself so you can look at your posture and see, can I get my back taller? That's really kind of key to this pose. And maybe get your toes pointing in to opposite directions as much as possible. So here we are, yogi squat. You feel it in your thigh. And I'm trying to sit up taller. Sarah, sit up taller. Crown of my head is reaching up. Good. Breathe in and out. And place your hands on the mat and come up to a comfortable standing position. Maybe shake out your legs a little bit. That yogi squat is the gentle alternative to crow pose. Crow pose is an arm balance. I'll show you what it looks like. I may not be able to get there all the way, but your hands are out wide, your fingers are wide, your knees are up into your armpits, and you tip forward, taking one foot off the mat and maybe the other foot. Your toes are together. I might be able to get one foot, stretch your back out long. Let's see if I can get up. Oh, just for a second. Anyway, that's crow. It's another fun thing to practice. So we're coming into the portion of the fun where we're going to do some balance. And the classic, really the classic balance pose is tree. So there's different ways of doing tree, and if you're not feeling balanced today, be easy on yourself and just place your toe on the mat. Bring your hands to your hips, find a drishti point, and bring your hands to heart and prayer. So that is one way of doing tree. The next way is bringing that foot to the inside of your shin, bringing some bend to your standing knee, and that is fabulous. Full tree is bringing your foot up to your thigh, finding drishti and breath, and we're going to hang here for a moment. Stand up tall, chin back, shoulders over hip. Any hand variation is good, and breathe. If it's there for you, bring your hands up overhead. And lower down, lower that foot down. Good job. Find that drishti point, find your breath, find strength, engage your abdominal muscles. All those tools help us when we are asked to do balance. Unlock your standing leg and come into kickstand shin, or up into your thigh, really pressing the left foot against the right thigh, and maybe really pressing your thumb knuckles into your chest wall. Raise your arms up overhead if that's there for you, and breathe. And lower down. Shake out your legs. And come into chair legs. And we're going to wrap our right leg over our left. Your toes can be flexed on the outside of your left shin, or if you can, wrap your toes to the inside of your left shin. Bring your hands to heart in prayer to start, and sink, and then wrap your right arm underneath your left. Your palms are together, and your elbows come up to be parallel with your shoulders. Your shoulder blades are expanding here in this double bind. Look straight ahead, drishti, and breath. And come up out of this. Shake your leg out. You can really feel that in your, if I knew my anatomy, the outside of your left hip. That would be your, oh, never mind. I'm not going to say it because I'll probably say it wrong. So here we are. We're going to come back into eagle on the other side. So start in chair leg. And now this time wrap your left leg over your right. One side will feel different than the other. Maybe this side, for me, it's a little bit harder getting my toes around my shin. So I'm going to leave them flexed on the outside of my right shin. And bring your hands to heart in prayer as you sink. Breathe here. And now wind up your left arm underneath your right, palms together, and sink, drawing your elbows up to shoulder height. And again, feeling that expansion in your shoulders. Breathe and sink. Breathe and sink. And unwind, come up, mountain pose, dive down, forward fold, halfway lift, and step back into warrior two. Here we are, we're in a warrior two stance. Now come up on the ball of your left foot. Your hips are now straight ahead. You can bring your arms to your hips and come into a crescent lunge. So we're sinking into crescent. And what we're going to do is we're going to lift off and go into airplane from this position. So very slowly, just kick up, make any adjustment that you need, and bring your arms behind you. Pinkies are drawn towards one another. A little up dog in your chest. Your hips are parallel. Breathe. Place your hand on the mat, your right hand on the mat, and come into half moon. If you've got a block, you can absolutely use it underneath your right hand. But your right hand should be right beneath your right shoulder. And see if you can raise that left leg up so it's parallel with your body. You can even see if you can float your right hand and come out of it. Woo. Good. Just step back into warrior two on the left. So your left foot is now forward, right foot behind, the blade edge of your right foot is digging into the mat behind you. Stretch your arms out so they're parallel. You're stacking your body, right? Your shoulders are right over your hips. You're reaching towards either wall. Now come onto the ball of your right foot and come up into crescent lunge. So now your arms are up overhead, breathing here. You're on your toes, and we're just going to launch into airplane. Go slowly, like you're moving through molasses. Just kick off. If you have to touch down, so be it. And come up. Breathe. Bend your standing leg a little bit. See if you can bring that right leg up a bit more, using your glutes to move you up. And now come into half moon on this side. If you have a block, place it underneath your left hand, and you're stacking your shoulders. Your right hand is extending to the ceiling. Your right leg is rising. Your right toes are trying to point to the wall on the right, and your hips are stacked, your shoulders are stacked. And see if you can look up at that thumb. If you can, float your left hand for a moment. See if you can find balance here and come out of it. Good work. Good deal. Come on to find your way to a seated position on your mat. We're going to do a little core work. I'm going to kick out my thighs. See how your body's feeling. See if there's tension. If you need to take a couple little twists, do that. Take a drink, wipe your brow, and come into whatever your high boat looks like. So find your way to high boat. You're on your sacrum. Perhaps you're grabbing your thighs. Here we are. High boat, exhale into low boat. Look at your toes, engage your abdominal muscles. Inhale up to high boat. Exhale into low boat. Inhale up to high boat. Exhale into low boat. We're going to flutter kick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and lower down completely. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. And now I like to rock and roll to downward facing dog. If rock and rolling isn't there for you, just however you're going to do it, get to downward facing dog. But I like to and breathe here. Extend your right leg long, stamp the wall behind you. Bend your knee and fan open your hips. So you're stacking your hips, come high on your left toes. Breathe here and stay here. Breathe in and out. We're beginning to do some hip openers. Breathe in and out. Now, bring that knee to your nose, and now drop that knee behind your right ankle and scooch back for half pigeon on this side. Lower down onto your forearms to start with. See how that feels. Flex your right toes to protect your knee. And if you can, lower down so that your forehead is on the mat. Extend your arms long out in front of you. This might be the point in the practice when you're starting to make lists about what you got to do. Come back to your intention. And slowly make your way up, come up onto your hands. Now listen to these instructions. I want you to bring your right foot forward on your mat, and I want you to have both of your hands on the mat on the inside of your right foot. This is a lunge position. My knee is up or your knee can be down. Either way, it doesn't matter. And now we're gonna do a lizard lunge. We're gonna lean into our right knee with our right shoulder to do another hip opener here. Breathe into this and out. Most of us have very tight hips, so you may find this to be a lot. A lot is good, ouch is not good. So if you're going ouch right now, get out of it. Try to plug your shoulders into your back. Breathe into this. And now step that foot back and come into downward facing dog and breathe. In and out. In and out. Come high on your right toes and draw your left foot back, stamping the wall behind you. So you've got this straight, strong left leg. You're on your right toes. Bend your left knee. The sole of your foot is now facing the ceiling. Take a breath. And now fan open your hips. So your hips are stacked. You're trying to come high on your right toes. Breathe here. You've got an even weight in both hands. And just stay here for a moment. Breathe in and out. One more breath in. And now come back. Draw that knee to your nose. And now bring that knee right behind your left wrist. Flexing your left toes, your left foot, your left leg is bent, and you're scooching your right foot back. Come onto your forearms. See how that feels. Maybe that's enough. That's just fine. But if you think you can go deeper, stretch your arms out long and place your forehead on the mat. Keep those left toes flexed. If at any point this is ouch, come out of it and do figure 4 on your back. Two more breaths in, make them deep. And slowly come up, hands on mat, and now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to use your hands if you need to bring your left foot forward. Place both hands, they're wide and they're open. They're on the inside of your left foot. You're bent into that left knee. You can come up off your right knee if that's there for you. Either way, you're going to lean into your left knee with your left shoulder. I find actually being on my knee, I can get deeper into this. And fiddle with your hands, get the right stance for you as you just continue to open your hips here. Breathe in and out. You know, the hips, huge joint. Lots of sensation there. Good. And slowly make your way out of it and come into a comfortable cross-legged seat on your mat. So there's different ways of doing cross-leg. You can just cross your legs. That's cool. Or you can do kind of a yogi cross-leg, which is bringing your foot on top of your thigh. And you may, I mean, my right knee pops up when I do that a little bit more, but whatever's comfortable, it doesn't matter. But we're in a cross-legged seat. Raise your arms up overhead. Look at your fingertips. Draw your shoulders into their shoulder sockets and hinge forward at your waist. Bring your hands to the mat and slowly, with breath, inhale, extend, exhale, sink.
And we're going to stay here for a moment, breathing in, extending, and exhale and seeing sink. Your hips are on the mat. You're just seeing how low you can go. And slowly make your way back up and come onto your back. We're going to do a couple back bends. So I want you to set up for bridge. If bridge isn't in your practice today, just take Supta Baddha Konasana, or if you like, take supported bridge. Take your block, and when we go up, place it underneath your sacrum. It's absolutely fine to do that. You still get the hip opening, you still get the shoulder strengthening. So take whatever you need today. If you're taking full bridge, graze your ankles or your heels with your fingers, plaster your full arm into your mat, and make sure your feet are strong and at 12 o'clock. And you're using your arms and your feet to lift up, do so now, lift your hips up. You're coming up to your shoulder tops or closer to your shoulder tops, and your feet are really solid on the mat. Take a breath in. We'll take 4 breaths here. And just like chair, your thighs are drawing together, but they're not touching. 3 more breaths. And lower down. Take a resting breath in and out, and come back up for bridge, supported bridge, Supta Baddha Konasana. Breathe. 3 more breaths. And lower down on an exhale. Good. Breathe in, cleansing breath in and out. And one last time, come up for 4 breaths. If your butt is clenched, try to unclench it. Use your arms and your legs. One more breath. And lower down. Take Supta Baddha Konasana, the soles of your feet together, one hand at your heart, one hand on your belly. Breathe here. Now bring your knees into your chest, scrunch up into a tight little ball. Maybe rocking a little bit side to side. Now lower back down, grab the soles of your feet with your hands and come up into happy baby. So I'm holding the soles of my feet in my hand. I'm trying to draw my knees into my chest, but I'm also laying my entire back on the mat. And if you can do that, then you can rock and give your back a little massage. If you find yourself wobbling, it's probably because you're not getting your whole back on the mat. Bring your knees back into your chest. Good deal. And rock up to a seated position. Bring your arms up overhead. Look up at your thumbs. Lock your shoulders into their shoulder sockets, and hinge forward for a forward bend. Grab the soles of your feet if you can reach them. Your knees can be a little bit bent, but you're drawing your lower back towards your ankles. You're not rounding, you're drawing that lower back in. And again, on the inhale, extend.
On the exhale, sink. Inhale, extend. Exhale, sink. One more time. Inhale, extend. And exhale, sink. Now place your right foot on the outside of your left knee. We're going into Lord of the Fishes. Sit up tall. Place your left elbow on the outside of your right knee and bring your right hand behind you and begin to breathe and twist and turn your gaze over your right shoulder. Breathe in again and twist. One more breath and twist and a little counter twist to the left. And now do this on the other side. So bring your left foot to the outside of your right knee and your right elbow on the outside of your left knee. Sit up tall. Your right fingers are open and facing the ceiling, and start turning your head and turning your gaze over your left shoulder. On breath. Inhale, extend, exhale, twist a little deeper. Good. Come back around, maybe a little counter stretch, the other direction. Find your block and come up into waterfall. Place it under your sacrum. Your legs should literally pop up. Look at your toes. Get your feet over your hips for this restorative pose. Getting the blood going back into the big stuff, the big organs in your body. Breathe and look at your toes. Maybe think of 10 things you're grateful for. Maybe come up with 20 or 15. Another 3 breaths here. And bring your feet back to earth. Remove your block. Bring your right knee into your chest and hinge it over so that your right knee is now on the left side of your body for supine twist. Extend your right arm long out to the right and look over your right thumb. Stacking your hips once again. Bring that knee back into your chest and now do the other side. Bring your left knee in and draw it over to your right and extend your left arm long. Look over your left thumb. Breathe. Bring both knees into your chest. Come into a little tight ball and scrunch up, scrunch everything. And Shavasana. Take a rest for a great practice. Breathe in, just resume your normal breath. Open your palms to the ceiling to receive for a few moments. Bring some movement into your fingers and toes. Roll over onto your side, cradling your head in your arm. Take a few breaths here. And make your way up into a comfortable seated position with your eyes closed. Drawing the crown of your head up to the ceiling, sitting up tall. Bring your hands to heart in prayer. We'll end practice with the way we began, with the sound of one Om. Breathe in and out. Breathe in. Bring your thumb knuckles to your forehead. Look up. The light in me honors the light in you. Together we bow and say, Namaste. Namaste.